Hey dudes, what's up? Welcome to the channel. I'm just some guy. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, well, welcome back. So I just got out of my 2-hour sensory deprivation session. Now this is the second one that I've done, and the reason why I wanted to go do this is because I wanted to explore more of like the sensory deprivation. The first time I did have a little bit of visions. This time, however, well, it started off pretty bad because if you don't know what a sensory deprivation tank is, it's just basically a really big pod with water, and it's got like 1,000 pounds or something like that of Epsom salt in it, and you just float. And there's no lights, there's no sound unless you want some music, and nothing. And you just, the really interesting thing about it is that, at least what I like about it, is that I can't tell if my eyes are open or not unless I'm like physically forcing them open, like, and cognitively being like, I am opening my eyes, right? Because, it's just pitch black. It's pitch black. There's nothing in there, right? And so early on in the float, while I'm in there, I made the grave mistake of doing an itch on my forehead, which my hands were in the water, which is full of salt, which then rolled down my face and into my eye. So that was the first little bit of the float, was me getting out and having to wash my face off because my eyes were burning from salt. So that put me back like just a little bit, but it overall wasn't too big of a deal. It was like in the first 15 minutes, so not a big deal. Got back into the tank, and I started working on some breathing exercises, some 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, just to kind of get my breathing under control. And one of the things that I really like too is because you're in there and you're in the water and everything like that, your breath is very loud. One thing that I did notice this time versus the last time is the last time I could quite literally hear my blood coursing through my body. This time, however, I had to like try to hear it, and it was really weird because like sometimes my breath would be very loud in my head, and then other times it would almost feel very distant. Not too sure why, but the overall goal of it was to get to a lucid state like I was the first time when I saw, the visions that I saw the first time. And they were very fleeting, very, very quick, and I didn't really understand them. If you didn't watch the other video that I did, you can, but basically what it was I was staring into the darkness of behind my eyes, and like from the bottom right hand corner, and this is going to be something that I noticed and something I'm going to bring up further, is that it's this side of my head when I'm in there, right? And it's not something that I noticed when I've been doing stuff at home, but this is weird because it's the right hand side, and like this like weird skeletal, like golden skeletal hand with like a golden apple kind of like pulled itself out from the corner. And when it like came out, the corner of my mind's eye, right, the tapestry that I was at, was almost like a black curtain, right? So it was like the corner of a black curtain was being kind of pulled over, and then it was this skeletal hand with like the most perfect golden apple that I had ever seen. And one of the things that I've kind of thought is maybe that was my brain being like, yo, this is, the apple of knowledge type of a deal. The other thing too is whenever I try to do like visualization practice in my head, it's always, I'm trying to draw an apple, which is really kind of weird because like a lot of that comes up a lot, right? Like if you go look for like visualization or like things along those lines, a lot of people talk about visualizing an apple, and I don't know why. Like, is an apple like just the most common thing? Is that like something that like somebody brought up like a long time ago, and then like that just kind of like permeated throughout the rest of history? I don't know. I don't know. It was weird. It's weird that when you think about it. Anyways, so that was the first time. This time, however, I was trying to do what I've been doing when I'm trying to do lucid dreaming, and that is that I manifest, I draw a door, and then I walk through the door, and then that leads me into whatever lucid dream or thing that I'm trying to do. Right. Now I had a couple mantras and stuff like that I tried, and the thing that I'm going to come back, that I'm circling back on here, is that when I drew the door, when I was manifesting the door while I was in there, it was in this side, like it was in this eye, and I noticed it because it almost felt like both sides of my tapestry were doing different things. And the other interesting thing is that every so often strobe lights would go off. Now they weren't in the tank. There was no lights in the tank, but it was like a strobe light effect, and it would kind of come around, whatever I was doing. And it was almost like it was like alerting me to something, which I thought was kind of interesting. But whenever I would try to focus on it, then that was when it would go away, and it would break my focus on whatever else it was doing. So whether it was a distraction or whether it was, something that, it was trying to like, maybe it was trying to distract me, maybe it was trying to tell me something. I don't know. I'm going to kind of take these away and like kind of think about them. But the door was always on the right hand side. Like whenever I was in like dead center, the door was always over here. And then the weird thing was, and this is what kind of got me, like it got me kind of annoyed, is that every time I tried to open the door while I was floating in this tank, my body just stopped breathing. Like it just forgot how to breathe. And so like as I'm like turning this handle, my body all of a sudden is like, yo dog, you ain't breathing, you need to breathe. So then I'd have to take like a really deep breath, and then it would just kind of dissipate everything. So then I'd have to start over again, and then I would have to like do all of my stuff, and then it would do the same thing. And so I'm like, man, like, am I just like not breathing right? Is my nose all junked up? Like my nose wasn't really gunked up. It's more than it is anyways, but I don't know. And this happened like multiple times. And then I remember there were a couple of times where I was just sitting there. I didn't know if I was asleep or not. And I remember talking to myself and thinking whether or not I was awake, and whether that really mattered at the moment, because I was like sitting there and I'm like, am I asleep right now or am I awake right now in this tub? I'm like, I should be back to working on, figuring something out, seeing something, and then, like time went by real fast. That was like why I wanted to do 2 hours, because the first time around, I felt like I got in there and then I got comfortable, and then I saw my thing, and the next thing I know, it was over. Like an hour had passed. I think one of the big things that I run into, like with the problem that I have with these, and I'm feel like I'm running into this with like the lucid dreaming and stuff like that as well, is that I'm trying to see something. I'm trying to get an answer to a question I don't know, and I'm chasing it instead of letting it come to me, right? The first time I did this, I didn't know what I was going in there to look for. This time around, I felt like I had a better idea and I knew what I was going to look for, but I feel like because I was attempting to go do it, that's why like the door was closed, right? Um I don't know. I don't know how to overcome that, right? Because like for me, I'm going to look at it logically, like, which is weird to say about, esoteric dream meanings, right? I'm going to look at it logically. Um and, like how do you chase something that is going to block you when you're chasing it, but you want to know, and that's the curiosity, so you're gonna chase it and you can't not chase it, but maybe that just wasn't the way to do it. I don't know, but regardless, man, my skin feels really really good. And my elbow doesn't hurt, which I didn't know that was gonna be part of it. Like my elbow has been, like I had some like joint pain the last couple of days because I've been sleeping kind of weird, and my elbow doesn't hurt right now. Um, my hair, I'm gonna have to wash my hair quite a bit because of all the salt and everything in it, but not a big deal. But I'm gonna go get some food now because I didn't eat before because I didn't want to have to, be in a tank for 2 hours, and have food in me. But that was my second float. I mean, regardless, I think that like just 2 hours of just hardcore relaxation in there wasn't bad. I didn't get the answers. Maybe I got some. I'll have to think about it. We'll see. But it's not like I had like a super epiphany or anything along those lines. Um, I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy, homies. Peace out.